On today's show, we are talking all about this Venom leak. This was making the news yesterday. Apparently, Brisk Ice Tea leaked our first official image of the Venom suit from the upcoming movie. We're also going to talk about Avengers 4. The Russo brothers have been active online telling fans that not only is the title for Avengers 4 a spoiler, but fans should be afraid of what that title is. What's that about? We're going to break it all down. We're going to do Top 5 Tuesdays, and we're going to do the Dope List. This is the Nerdy News Rundown, your daily dose of nerdy news. I am broadcasting out of Uncanny in the King of Prussia Mall, Philadelphia. Let's get this show started. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Tuesday show. I hope you're having a good day. Thanks for hanging out with me. I, of course, want to shout out Uncanny for sponsoring the show. They are really awesome. Go give them some love. Now, let's get right into the first topic of the day. The internet. You know, that nice warm place where everybody gets along and everything you read is true. Yeah, someone using that platform apparently discovered an item on a Brisk Ice Tea can. This is apparently our first look at the Venom symbiote suit for the upcoming Tom Hardy movie. This is, of course, the Sony movie, which may or may not be connected to the MCU. We still don't really know about that. So, you know, we got that teaser trailer, and even though there was no Venom to be found in that, we don't have to worry about it because there's a dark cherry limeade out there that is going to fulfill all of our needs when it comes to the Venom symbiote.
You serious?
Apparently somebody discovered this. This is promotional stuff. This happens all the time with movies. This was done for the Black Panther movie by Brisk as well. And what's getting people excited about this and why they think this is the official look of Venom is the fact that the eyes very closely resemble what we got on the official poster, and you can see the outline of the head and the teeth itself. So while, of course, this is not official in any way whatsoever, everybody on the internet grabbed this and ran with it yesterday. I mean, it's crazy. I can't believe this is what the news cycle has become. But I do want to warn everybody, a couple months ago, there was something that similarly made the rounds about possibly what the Venom suit would look like, and it turned out to be a model from some other website, not associated with the film whatsoever. So I would sort of curb our enthusiasm about this new look. Now, frankly, the reason people are so excited about this news and the reason people are anticipating the look of the Venom movie so much has to do with the lack of the Venom symbiote in the trailer, and then all of those rumors that came out about the Venom suit barely being in the movie at all. This was cause for concern. People were so fired up. Everyone got so angry about it, and Tom Hardy came out and quelled all of those rumors on social media himself. I think a lot of this has to do with just the questions about this movie in general. People are like, well, it's Sony. How much can we really trust them? Is this connected to the MCU? Is this not connected to the MCU? What the hell is going on here? What is a Sony Marvel universe? So I think that has to do with why people are questioning all of this stuff. Now, my own opinion on this is like, yeah, this is probably going to closely resemble the Venom from the movie because it looks like Venom. I don't think it's like the official screen caps of it, but look, that is what Venom looks like. There's only so much you can do to change the look of Venom from the comics, and I guess, you know, it's good to know that we aren't getting like a Care Bear or fur or feathers or something outlandishly crazy and a huge departure from what we're used to in the comics. So if that's what you were looking for, then I guess, yeah, take this as a sign that, yeah, Sony is at least not screwing it up too badly. It's gonna be probably what Venom looks like. We're going to get Venom in the movie. The movie itself is going to look really, really cool. Now, there was another bit of news that was sort of floating around about this, and this has to do with Woody Harrelson playing Cletus Cassidy. This is a big rumor at this point. A lot of people are running with it, and I would be completely into him being Cletus Cassidy and for them to do Carnage in this movie or in a future Venom movie if this turns into sort of like a franchise. So yeah, that's the news out there, guys. We don't get Venom in our teaser trailer, but Brisk Ice Tea has you covered. So I want to know what everybody thinks about this. I mean, do you think this is going to be what the suit officially looks like? Do you think it's just a promotion and sort of like a graphic mock-up? Do you buy into those rumors at all about the Venom suit barely being in the film? Or are you sort of more trusting of Sony and especially Tom Hardy? Whatever your thoughts, I definitely want to know them. So hit me up in the comment section below about all of that. All right, now let's get into the second topic of the day. This all has to do with Avengers 4. Now, the title for Avengers 4 is said to be a spoiler for Avengers Infinity War. This was like something that came out last year. Marvel and the Russo brothers were very active about talking about this. And some of the actors referred to the title for Avengers 4 as Infinity Gauntlet. I believe it was the actress that plays Gamora. So she came out and said, we've got to go back for Gauntlet in a couple months. This kind of made the internet think, oh my God, the title for Avengers 4 is Infinity Gauntlet. And that's a spoiler because it means he will assemble all of the gems. Personally, I don't really think that's a spoiler at all. I mean, I think that's obvious. He's going to get all the gems. That's the way this story is going to go. But James Gunn kind of debunked that, said that she has no idea what the title is. She's just saying that. Could be a working title or something similar to like that. And look, James Gunn is an executive producer for these next two Avengers films, and he's essentially MCU royalty at this point. So if anybody's going to know what's going on, I'm going to trust him. Now, the reason this is back in the news is because the Russo brothers responded to a tweet, and essentially someone was saying they were frightened by the fact that Avengers 4 and the title for that film will be a spoiler for Avengers 3. The Russo brothers simply tweeted back, it should be, or it should scare you, or whatever. I don't know. I didn't even look at the tweet because I really don't care. But at the end of the day, this caused the internet to explode.
There we go. No, there's no justice like angry mob justice.
Rob, this can't actually be a story, right? It is. And so this caused the internet to start the speculation train all over again. Right now, the predominant theory is that the title will be Avengers Disassembled, which of course was a book on the table right next to the Infinity Gauntlet, huge book that had all the bookmarks in it. This was from a promotional video last year talking about the process of making this film. So I could see them doing a version of Avengers Disassembled, but I think it's going to have more to do with Thanos just destroying everything and being a god. So, I don't know. Right now, I'm thinking of a title more like Avengers 4. How the hell are the Avengers ever going to beat Thanos with a full gauntlet? Or Avengers 4, what are we going to do now that we killed half of our characters? Or Avengers 4, Thanos literally bitch slaps everybody in the MCU. That's kind of like where my head is at with it. But that is the news out there. It's being reported, so people are talking about it. I want to know what you guys think. I mean, in all honesty, do you think that the title for Avengers 4 will indeed be a spoiler for Infinity War? And is that why they're holding it back? Do you think it's Avengers Disassembled? Or do you think it's something maybe a little more cryptic, or perhaps something like implying all of the destruction that's going on with Infinity War? Whatever your thoughts, I definitely want to know them in the comments section below. This is the top 5 list. It's, of course, Top 5 Tuesday, and I'm just taking the second most popular vote from last week, and I'll open up new polls on the community tab here on YouTube and on our social media for next week's Top 5 Tuesday, so make sure you go vote on all of that. But this week, we are doing the top 5 MCU characters. I'm just going to talk for a little bit about my top 5 favorite MCU characters. So coming in at number 5 is Hawkeye. Now, Jeremy Renner is an incredible actor, and I love what he brings to this role. He's very funny, very witty. I'm really in love with the line he had in the first Avengers where he's talking about how there's aliens coming out of the sky. He's shooting a bow and arrow. None of this makes sense. I really love that line, and the charisma that he brings to the role is awesome. I'm excited to see if he's in Avengers Infinity War at all. There's this famous rumor that he's off doing his own thing. He's in none of the promotional material. He said in interviews that everything he does is a spoiler, so I'm excited to see how he's used in that film. But Hawkeye comes in at my number 5 most favorite MCU character. Coming in at number 4 is Doctor Strange, and even though we've seen very few moments with Doctor Strange in the MCU, they've all been super impactful, so I'm a huge fan of the Doctor Strange movie. It was visually very cool, and I like what they did with that character. But on top of that, what he does in Thor Ragnarok is incredible. The way they utilize his magic, showing his prowess, showing how much he knows about the MCU, it's just really, really cool. It's like exactly what I wanted from a Doctor Strange character from the comic books. Incredibly powerful, incredibly smart, sure of himself, and a harbinger for info drops when it comes to big cosmic threats. So Doctor Strange gets my number 4 spot of my top 5 favorite MCU characters. Number 3 is Spider-Man. Now, I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. I tell everybody that Spider-Man's my favorite Marvel character. It's actually the Kane Scarlet Spider, who's a clone of Peter, but that's like too nerdy for people, so I usually just say it's Peter Parker. But I love Peter Parker, and I've been a fan of what they've done with the character in the past, but Tom Holland absolutely crushes. Queen's accent is on point. I love the humor, I love the physicality, the fact that he's a young kid and poverty is his greatest enemy. All of this stuff just, it embodies what I love of the character from the comics. I was into his movie. I thought it was super cool, man. And the relationship he has with Tony Stark is so awesome. I can't wait to see more of Spider-Man in Infinity War, and I think he's going to be an Avenger for a long, long time. So he gets my number 3 spot. Number 2 might surprise many of you, but it's actually Thor. I love the Thor character. He's a heavy hitter from the comic books, and I was incredibly interested to see how they were going to make this character work in the MCU. When it was first announced we were getting a Thor movie, I was like, what? Thor movie? Capes? Magic hammers? Gods? There's no way they're going to make this work. And yet they did. The fish out of water element with this character is hilarious. I love his swagger and the development that they have given him in his 3 movies. His relationship with his brother, his people, and his new adopted home, Earth, is very intriguing. So for all of those reasons and many, many more, I absolutely love Thor in the MCU. He is my second most favorite character in this series of movies. Number 1 is Captain America, the guy on the wall behind me. And the reason I love Cap so much is because he completely embodies everything we want from this character from the comics. This is the physicality, this is his moral direction, and just his prowess on screen. I mean, he just embodies all of those qualities and kicks a ton of ass with that shield. I think his arc has been very interesting, and I love his perspective on the whole world. Coming from a different time and coming into our modern world, this is a very interesting thing, and story-wise, it's made perfect sense. His relationship with Tony and the way that that breaks down, his relationship with Bucky, the way he has to go after that with the Winter Soldier, so intriguing. And I absolutely love how he's sort of vilified now in the MCU, but for actually making the right choices. Especially when you juxtapose this against some of the changes they've made to Cap in the comics, which I'm not a big fan of. Man, I love being able to watch the movies and get that just old school American morality that we all love in the character that Chris Evans portrays. So Cap is my number 1 MCU character. He's my favorite. What can I say? All right, guys, it's time to do the dope list. This is the rapid fire section where I just talk about a bunch of dope things that you may have missed. Number 1 on the dope list today, Legion Season 2. It premieres tonight. Now, look, I've said this before on the show, but Legion Season 1 is spectacular television. Noah Hawley, who created and showrun that show, he's an amazing talent. He did the Fargo show. He's working on the Doctor Doom movie right now. Really talented guy. If you have not checked out Legion Season 1, you've still technically got time. Go binge it before tonight at 10 o'clock because it is fantastic television. It's super trippy and deals with a very interesting X-Men character. I love the show. Can't wait for the premiere of Season 2 tonight. Next thing on the dope list has to do with Rey and Finn. Apparently, John Boyega was talking at a Comic-Con recently about how Daisy Ridley has read some of the script for Episode 9, and she tweeted him saying, Rey and Finn are back together. And so a lot of people believe that they will be spending most of the film together in Episode 9. Does this crush the Reylo hope out there? Does this mean that Rey and Finn will formulate a relationship beyond friendship? What's Rose going to think about that? And all sorts of other questions. I'm actually doing a little bonus video about that, so look for that later today. But either way, it suggests that Episode 9 is taking shape. I think everybody expected Finn and Rey to be together in some capacity. Their chemistry was very, very cool in The Force Awakens, so I'm pumped that they're going to be back together in Episode 9. The last thing on the dope list today has to do with a Denny's commercial. No, I'm not kidding. Collider did an exclusive commercial for Denny's promoting a charitable campaign for the Han Solo film and the Han Solo film itself. Now, this commercial was actually really cleverly designed, and my big fear here is that the kid in the commercial is actually going to play a more convincing Han Solo than Eldon Ehrenreich. No, I'm not kidding. But in either case, you might want to go check out that commercial. I think it's cool. I like when companies try to do new, interesting things with their marketing. We're seeing a lot of that these days, and sort of taking the ideas of these properties, forging them into their marketing material, taking that to the next level. It's super interesting. So if you're a fan of Denny's, or if you're a fan of Star Wars or Collider, or just curious, go check out that commercial over on the Collider YouTube channel. I think it's pretty cool. They're playing a little game of sabacc. Gets me a little bit more excited for the film. That's going to do it for the dope list. Just a rapid fire section of everything that's dope going on in the world. So that's going to do it for today's show. Guys, thanks so much for hanging out with me on a Tuesday. Let me know what topics and what things you want me to cover in the comments section below. Drop a question and I'll cover it in a future episode. And make sure you go to the community tab where we will be voting on what top 5 to do on next week's Top 5 Tuesdays. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I will see you in the next video. Guys, you know the drill. I'm in this box. I'm in this box. They got me boxed in, and the only way that I can break out is if you click those links. Click those links, please. I put the links there so that you would click them.